Good morning, good morning, good morning, fam. This is Tony Ojo Alao once more with the Victor Group, and this is our Monday morning live 8 at 8. And I want to continue what we started last week, which is last week we did the part one of the real cost of selling your home. And so this week we want to continue on that, and I'm going to break this one actually into three parts. So last week we talked about what it will cost to sell your home before you put it on the market. Today we're going to talk about a few things to consider while your house is on the market. So we're going to go over like 3 or 4 different things for you to consider while your home is on the market. Last week we touched a little bit about repairs. This week we're really going to zero in on that because the real cost of your repairs is going to come into play while your house is on the market and it goes under contract. When we're talking about repairs, we're talking about once your house goes under contract and the buyer or the would-be buyer goes to do their inspections, they're going to come back to you and they're going to be asking for a certain amount of repairs. Now, those repairs you could do all of them, you could do some of them, and you could do, instead of doing them, you could also give them cash towards those repairs. But those are things that definitely we need to consider, again, towards the cost of selling your home once you are on the market. The second thing we want to talk about is obviously you would need to, as a seller, there is the price of selling the home that you would pay the brokerage company who is selling your home. Those are basically the commissions that the agents will get when you go on the market and once you close on your home. That is also a cost, obviously, that you would need to factor in when you are going to sell your house. Those commissions or conversations that they are fluid before you sign the contract, they're ongoing, they are negotiable. So those numbers you will come to agreement with you and your real estate agent and the brokerage company, of course. And then another big thing that a lot of sellers don't think about until they do have the meeting with their realtor is the seller concessions. Now, seller concessions is different from repairs. Seller concessions basically means what you give to the would-be buyer to help them towards the sale of the property. The more it is a buyer's market, the more seller concessions you should be expect to come out of pocket from your proceeds. Those seller concessions are paid at the time of closing, and they are paid from the proceeds that you make once you sell your house. Seller concessions could be anything from additional monies to repairs, or up to including money towards closing costs for the buyer. A lot of things that I advise a lot of my sellers to do now, because a lot of people are sitting on the sidelines because of interest rate, is to budget seller concessions for to help them buy down the rate. So if you have a buyer who has a 6.5% interest rate and you want to give them seller concessions to bring that interest rate down by 1/4 of a point, maybe have it at 6. If it's 6.5, have it at 6 1/4, or even bring it all the way down to 6%. Then those are seller concessions that you would need to consider in terms of putting your budget together, in terms of what you would need to give out from your proceeds when you sell your house. And like I said, those seller concessions can include closing costs. Sometimes some people are asking for a warranty, a home warranty. If it's a resale, and if the buyer, especially first-time home buyers typically will ask for a home warranty just because this is their first home, and if they are not purchasing a new construction, they want to make sure that at least, I call it the getting to know your home period. They want a home warranty that will take care of anything that could happen within reason, anything that includes the systems, the plumbing, the electricals, the structure, even anything that might happen with the home that first year while they're getting to know their home that first year. A lot of times they will ask the buyer. A home warranty is anywhere from $500 to $650, $700, depending on the size of the home and the type of warranty that the buyer is choosing. Now, here is one that a lot of sellers don't think about so much, and that is what I break this down into two different categories. There's the holding cost of the house. A lot of it, sometimes if you've already moved out of the home and if the home is vacant, there's the amount that you have to hold it, meaning that you're still paying all your bills as if you were living in the house. You're still paying your mortgage. You're still paying all your utilities. You probably are still paying like a landscaper to come once every couple of weeks or once every month to still maintain the yard. So those costs you're going to have to figure into actually the cost of selling your house, so that there's not a shocker when your house sits on the market for like over a month or 2 months, which we're seeing a lot more of right now. And then there is HOA. If your house is in an HOA, you're still paying your HOA fees as long as you own the house, you're still going to be paying those. And of course, your mortgage and your taxes. Taxes is also something that they take out once you sell your house. So you're still going to be paying your property taxes. So those are the things that I want you guys to understand for when you're selling your home. So I've broken it down to 3 different categories. Last week, again, we talked about before you put your house on the market. This week, I've just given you some things for you to consider while your home is on the market. And then next week, we're going to talk about just how much you should budget overall. I know that I've used up my 8 minutes. I don't want to keep you guys on for much longer, but I hope that you guys are getting some good information from these Monday Nuggets that I'm doing. If some of you are able to come online as I'm live, please feel free to drop me some love, drop me some questions. From your questions is where I pick the topics that I talk about every Monday. So if there's a topic that you want me to touch, by all means, please send me a DM, put it on the comments, and I'll make sure to reach back out to you and to let you know when I'll be covering the topic that you are requesting about, or if it's an answer that you need right away, I'll certainly get in touch with you and I will make sure that I get an answer to you. I pray that you guys have a wonderful week. It's going to be another scorcher. Hopefully it's not as bad as last week, but it's still going to be very hot and humid out this week. I will talk to you guys again next week, Monday at 8 a.m. I will see you guys soon. And we'll finish up the series of how much it costs to sell your home. Talk to you all soon. Bye-bye.